Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the NFL show today. Woohoo! KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255 if you want to call the show. And I saw this story. Alyssa Milano broke Alyssa Milano. And I figured out the reason why Alyssa Milano's broke is she spends too much time not doing her job, not focusing on what it takes to make money, and hating on Donald Trump. It's amazing to watch this chick. I discussed her a while back, and I said she could actually learn a lot from billionaire turned President Donald Trump. She filed a $10 million lawsuit accusing her former business manager of severe misconduct that caused her to spiral into financial disaster. And as you look at the things that she did, you think to yourself, that's not your manager that did that. You know, you're rehabbing a house with a contractor, changing it every day, not paying contractors, get, $2-3 million into debt on it. And then she couldn't pay her $385,000 of taxes to the city that were due. You built the house in California. You had to know you're going to get a tax bill that was going to choke a quarter horse. And on and on. I could go on. And when I read the response to her, the people she was suing, the firm that manages her money, and they said, here are the things that we dealt with Ms. Milano. And you thought to yourself, the nerve of her to be suing these people. They didn't mismanage her money. She mismanaged her money. It's like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, the stuff that this guy did, you had to know, Johnny. You had to, Donald Trump would be broke if he kept up Johnny Depp's level of spending. It's unbelievable. She says they forged her signature, failed to pay over to do bills. They can't pay your bills if you're not making enough money. Anyway, instead of working, she spends her time complaining, trying to convince us that we're wrong, Donald Trump is wrong. So she tweeted, this was a while back, she says, being anti-Trump is not about politics, it's about human decency. Now, the reason why that tweet is important is because over the weekend, Alyssa Milano took it upon herself to say, of all things, that people needed to watch football. She begged people, please watch football. We cannot let these players down. Unfortunately, it fell on what they call deaf ears. Yep, she thinks she's saving black lives when she tweets this stuff. Please, I implore you, you must do it. I get it. If the NFL folds, America will lose hundreds of black millionaires. These young black men will be destitute even faster than when they retire from the NFL. They will join the ranks of Alyssa Milano and Johnny Depp and others. The horror. You know, Alyssa Milano could be doing herself a favor by saying, let's get these young black men into classes where they know what to do with their money. And, oh, by the way, can I take it? Can I audit that class? Another thing that led me to believe that things weren't going to be as successful for Alyssa as she thought is when I saw these back the blue socks that some of the players were wearing. See, the football commissioner wouldn't let them put the patch on. So these guys said, we got you. So they put on back the blue socks instead. Now, let me tell you, that warmed my heart. Remember the NFL player who wanted to cut the heads off of cops? You remember that guy? Yep, young black football player bought into the lie of the Black Lives Matter movement. His name is Isaiah Cromwell. Running back for the Cleveland Browns. And it caused a stir because, you see, it's like an ISIS reference. Incited violence against the police. Posted a tweet with the police guy getting his throat cut. And he got a rude awakening. Ended up in doing something pretty miraculous, in fact. And let me tell you what he did. He actually ended up donating money to the Police Officers Association and saying to people, hey, look, I'm sorry. That was in poor taste. Wrong thing to do. But here's what I want to talk about with Alyssa Milano. So she says Trump is a bad guy. She says that it's not about politics, it's about human decency to be against Donald Trump. And she says support the NFL and particularly these black people who are anti-Trump for whatever reasons. And so I was thinking, does she even realize who she's supporting? Ray Rice beat his wife in an elevator, but Milano and other leftists can overlook wife beating Ray Rice and others as long as it supports the narrative of Trump being a racist against rich, millionaire, black sports figures. She's okay with it. And what of Greg Hardy? You guys know this guy? The Panthers Pro Bowl defensive end was found guilty of assaulting a female and communicating threats. The female was his girlfriend or his wife, one or the other. And he also had a few drug charges. But you know what? We want to protect those with human decency. Ray McDonald. Here's what was reported on Ray McDonald in May 25th of 2014. Police responded to McDonald's San Jose, California home after a woman allegedly grabbed a gun during an argument with her fiancé. The gun was registered to the fiancé, McDonald. The police report did not name McDonald or the woman, but it mentioned an engaged couple living at the address where McDonald was known to live with his fiancé. Now see, that's San Jose, California, where they cover up stuff for leftists, particularly those who are being oppressed. I want you to understand these are the police that have not arrested either McDonald or his fiancée for menacing a firearm. But then again, Black Lives Matter, right? August 31st, 2014, McDonald was arrested in the wee hours on suspicion of felony domestic abuse after an incident at his birthday party. A memo released by the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office noted visible injuries to the alleged victim, identified by the police as McDonald's fiancée, who was 10 weeks pregnant at the time. Let's see, May 25th, June 25th, July 25th, August 25th. So 3 months after the alleged incident where McDonald survived his first cop encounter, I'm sure it was the first one of his life, and they released him from death on his own recognizance. But 3 months later, she's 10 weeks pregnant, so they've obviously made up. And then we get another domestic violence issue with Mr. Was this Donovan? McDonald, I mean. Unbelievable. So I looked up the rate of domestic violence in NFL, and for the income bracket that these guys are in, it's amazing how much domestic violence there is. So they say relative to income level, top 1%, and poverty rate, 0% of the NFL players. The domestic violence arrests rate is downright extraordinary. According to a 2002 Bureau of Justice Statistics reports covering 1993 to 98, the domestic victimization rate for women in households with incomes greater than $75,000, which is 3.3 per 100,000, was about 39% of the overall rate, 8.4 per 100,000, and less than 20% of the rate for women ages 20 to 34. Doesn't include crosstabs, blah, 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 blah. The NFL's 13% relative arrest rate overall is, let me just put it in layman's terms. The rate of domestic violence for guys in that income bracket was geometrical and almost exponential in comparison to the regular folks, you and me, just out there living life. So these guys have access to counseling. They've got money to pretty much mitigate most circumstances, to keep anybody happy, to actually make a woman just say, I'll just shut my mouth. Do what you want to do. And having enough exposure to these guys, I know exactly what they do. But even with that, these guys don't get the counseling. And who knows what else they do. But Alyssa Milano supports them because she needs to support these young black wife beaters, these young black miscreants that are committing heinous crimes, drug crimes, assaults, all kinds of things. But she's got to protect them. Because, see, that's what leftists do. And as she said, the not supporting Trump is not about hating on Trump. It's not about politics. She says it's about humanity. What was her exact quote? Being anti-Trump is not about politics. It's about human decency. So being for these NFLers isn't about the human decency that's not being shown to the women that they beat regularly. I guess not. This is the quandary with the left. They anything that they want to do, that they attack, it spirals in on itself. It can't be pure. And that's why they don't like us. In fact, that's why they hate us.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.